Meteorologist Tuttle here. For years, I've been recommending Ferguson Roof Systems to homeowners across Oklahoma. So when Mother Nature struck my house, it was an easy call to make. There's no one I would trust more than Ferguson Roof Systems for my home's roof. Since 1977, Ferguson has led the industry with an A+ Better Business Bureau rating and lifetime warranties. Plus, they'll even deal with the insurance companies so you don't have to. So when Mother Nature strikes, make your first call to Ferguson Roof Systems.
Hey everyone, Meteorologist Tuttle here with you. It is about 1:15. We're going to do a lunchtime live weather update here for you on your Thursday, November 14th. Talk about the changes coming up in our near-term future. So it's going to be exciting because if you like changes, I've got a few things for you. One is going to be some cold air, that's for sure. So I want to thank you again for tuning in here as you enjoy a little bit of your lunch break with me. And then I'll get back to work, and so will you. Out there on YouTube world, appreciate you guys checking in and following. Make sure you get the notifications, tap the bell. Same thing for Rumble and also on Facebook as normal. Now remember, I've had some complaints lately that you're not getting notified when I go live. If that's the case, just toggle on and off that notification option on those different platforms and see if that fixes it. Twitter X, again, thank you guys for tuning in, and my newcomers on Instagram. So you guys are up and running now. And brand new, live, large and in charge, TikTok. So I got TikTok working as well. So I did a live yesterday there, just kind of test it out. And then today is the first one here with my weather computer software to see if that kind of worked out pretty well. It looks like it probably did. I'm already hearing some noises, so that's good. All right, so if you're having any problems though, like in the like for audio, for example, on TikTok, let me know. If it's loud enough, say so. If it's a little low, say that as well, because I can adjust those on the fly, and that may help out. It's a little bit different settings on that platform than these others, so I got to probably work out a few tweaks on there, but otherwise, I think we're good. So we're multitasking over all the social media platforms. I didn't leave one out. I don't think. All right, so let's get on with the action here. Let's see. First thing I want to show you is, it's a nice day, man. Now, it was chilly this morning. I officially hit 39 degrees this morning, but we got a lot of sunshine out there now. That's really kind of helping to warm things up. And it's going to end up being a really nice day today. And here's a look, by the way, of how cold it was across the state. We were at 37 in Yukon, 38 Spencer, 38 Oklahoma City in the south and east side, down in Norman 39, El Reno 34. But look up here in northwest Oklahoma, Woodward 33, Slapout 31, Beaver 27, Hooker, Oklahoma 28, Goodwell, Ava, look at that, 25, but 22 for Kenton. That is the coldest spot of Oklahoma, and that happens this time of the year. Panhandle always gets colder first. They get the freeze first, the frost first, all that stuff, and the rest just kind of follow suit little by little. But like we mentioned out there now, temperatures are much better. We're now into the low to mid-60s statewide. The exception occurs way out here in the Panhandle. One little spot up here around the Medford, Cherokee, and Blackwell area. Winds are pretty light. They're out of the kind of a southerly direction across the western half of the state. They're out of the kind of a variable direction across the east, but very light, less than 10 miles per hour. So it should be a pretty decent day today. As far as severe weather goes in our future, just to kind of show you what's going on in the Storm Prediction Center, over the next few days, there's nothing showing up for Oklahoma itself. There's a storm system coming in we're going to focus on here in just a minute, which will trigger some showers and thunderstorms, and some of those might be severe down here across the Texas area on Sunday and on Monday. So let me scoot this over for you. There you go. So there's a Sunday plot right there, and then also down into the Monday area. So I want to show you that does not include Oklahoma at this time. If that changes, I will let you know. Again, you guys on TikTok, since this is new, just let me know if there's any issues with that. Make sure you hit the notification button, by the way, on there as you're watching live after you hit the follow, and then select to get all notifications when I do go live, and hit the share button. Spread the word out there on the TikTok world. Okay, so now let's talk about what we got going on with the big change coming our way. So we're looking at the European model. It is actually one of the best models in general terms. It's not always going to get it right, but it's got a better skill score than the other models do. We'll see how long that lasts, but for right now, they seem to be king over the last decade. Anyway, we're going to look for the big change in the cold temperatures. If you look at these blue and white colors of Canada, watch how they start to kind of build up in that area, and they kind of zip through across the Rockies. And then as we head into, this is going to be the next week, we're going to watch those colors start to spill southward right here across the central and northern plains, just a little bit. So this takes you to the 20th. So this is the morning data. It's just now coming in. And so what it's starting to show us is that this leading edge here of cold air is starting to filter in, and that'll be working its way right here into Oklahoma, and we're going to get pretty chilly as a result. And I'm going to come back to this. We're going to take a close-up view of Oklahoma itself, and we're going to show you how cold this particular model is going to make us. But first, we'll take a look at the rainfall. Thanks to the storm system that's going to be coming our way for the weekend. Now, the good news is it won't be to the latter part of the weekend. So we're going to get a pretty good start here for Friday and Saturday. So let's take a look here at the animation. This is the jet stream pattern, which shows us the upper-level storm systems. The bright color indicates the best lift in the atmosphere. This is on Saturday right here, and as I animate this through time, you see that little guy coming down here to the southwest of us, this big bowling ball across New Mexico, Arizona, and Mexico itself. This guy right here is creating a lot of lift in the atmosphere. Puts us in that southwesterly flow aloft in the jet stream pattern. So the jet streams zip around like this, and then when it comes across, it provides the moisture for us, cloud cover, and then, yes, some rainfall. This is a pretty good heavy little deal, and that's why there'll be some severe weather. It's usually kind of anchored on the east of this bullseye, kind of on a little bowling ball shape to it. So you kind of look to the east of that to where you get your favorite region for dynamics, for severe storms and wind shear and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's take a look at that on the timing. So for Sunday itself, it's going to be starting off probably pretty good, but the clouds will build up, probably get some light showers. If we look into the evening hours, like around 7 o'clock, the lift, which is indicated by the red colors to produce the heavier precipitation, is working in from Texas and nudging into southwest Oklahoma by that point in time. So I don't think we'll have anything heavy here in Oklahoma during our weekend, especially if you're our late Sunday. But we should have some light rain begin to develop. But the heavier stuff should come in Sunday night into Monday, which is pretty good timing. So if we take a look at the European data for that, we can time that out for you here on the radar. And it will show you, this is about 6 o'clock Sunday morning. So some sprinkles out across northwest and maybe even eastern Oklahoma during the afternoon. Really, it's a sign of just an increase in moisture, not so much as actual rainfall. But as we head into the late afternoon, here's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we should start to see some light rain develop, though, at that point. And there's a wave, looks like, that develops here across central, western Oklahoma, and also down into southeastern Oklahoma and Texas. So after 6 o'clock, so in other words, that is when the big lift starts to finally make its way into the state, and that's how you can tell you're getting the heavier blobs of precipitation on here. So that does mean we get the heavier rainfall, and yeah, you're going to get a little bit of rumble of thunder. There'll be some lightning associated with that, but some brief heavy rain. So there's 3 o'clock in the morning here across central Oklahoma. Now, the system is coming in at the wrong time. In other words, it's coming a little quick, and meaning it comes in overnight into early tomorrow morning, which means that will limit the severe weather threat for Oklahoma, which is good news, right? Because we don't want this thing coming in late afternoon and evening like sometimes they do, and when that happens, you get better instability, which could lead to a better outcome of severe weather. At this particular point, that would be low because it's coming in at the wrong time of the day. So, for example, here is the midday period. So here's Monday noontime, and most of that heavier round of rainfall that started in the morning has already moved now into the eastern fifth of the state. We do have a little bit of wraparound on the back end here. For the rest of our Monday. It'll kind of linger a little bit across northern Oklahoma for the afternoon, and then that moves on out. And then things are quiet from there. But if you look here, and this is where things get exciting, we're going to come back to the temperatures in a minute, but this is for Wednesday, November 20th. So this is after our little rain event here for late Sunday night into Monday morning. This little guy right here has got a mixture of rain, some sleet, and some snow. So blue is in the snow. So how about that? Are we going to get some snow in Oklahoma? Well, for sure the Panhandle, and that's, of course, that's not saying a whole lot. They usually get it. But the Panhandle of Texas is also going to get some snow. And this model data is just now trickling in. So we're going to come back to this here in a second. But let's talk about the rainfall totals first. So if you can look, a widespread, if you take a larger view, right, for the whole southern plains, rather, from Texas and parts of Kansas and Oklahoma, Arkansas, etc. Where you see the blue area, it's about a ½ inch of rain. Where you do see the purple, it's up to about 1 inch or more, and the red is 2 or more. So that is some serious rainfall over a large area, which is great. Remember, we've been in a drought situation here for really the latter part of our summer, which is normal, into our fall, and so we just kind of got behind on the rainfall. This is really going to help once again. Widespread 2 to 3 inches of rainfall across a large area of Oklahoma. If we zoom in on that as well, here's some numbers here just in the model data. So again, 2 to 3 inches from Oklahoma City down to Elk City, Lawton, Wichita Falls, Stillwater, Ponca City, Bartlesville, Tulsa. Lighter stuff around McAllister and down here across far southeast Oklahoma, and of course out once you get to the far western part of the Panhandle at that. Now temperatures here on the short term are going to be chilly again tonight. Not quite as cold as last night. So last time I had a little bit of frost, a little bit of a light freeze up there in northwest Oklahoma. So tonight, same kind of thing up here in northwest Oklahoma. There are going to be some pockets if you live in a valley, low-lying area where temperatures do like to crater at night. So for example, like this spot down here on the river, southwest of around the Chickasha area or so, you can sometimes get down, where if you live in that cold area and then it's always cold at your house, that's kind of this pattern that we're in. Otherwise, there's lots of upper 30s and low 40s out there across the state. Okay, so let me see if that other data has trickled in yet as far as the big picture goes with what's coming in. And it does have at least the 20th of, it does. It has the 20th of the following week. So let's zip down in here. Kind of give you an idea what that looks like. So here is, so here's the 21st. Data just came in. So kind of give you an example of what's going to happen here as that next front comes in. So it does drop us into the lower 30s, right, across the western half of the state, into the 20s in the Panhandle for Thursday morning, the 21st. So that may not be our coldest morning, and it may be the 22nd. So kind of maybe, and this is still way out there, so we actually might be a little colder than this. And yeah, it could be a couple of degrees warmer too, but the pattern suggests colder overall. So that would probably most likely be our position where we have to start worrying about more of a widespread freeze across the state, and one that's probably be a little heavier, a little stronger, right, than what we had like this morning. So plants won't be so kind on the next go around. Okay, so here's a look at that precipitation map again. So here's the look at that mixture of rain and snow Wednesday on the 20th here across central Oklahoma and out to the west. And again, it's just kind of fun to see. This is still in the early stages. And as far as real snowfall forecast, as far as guaranteeing and how much and location, we really can't do that, and don't do that prior to about 48 hours out. Now, you're going to see a lot of maps on the internet that say otherwise, and that's fine. You can show snow maps all day long, and 99% of the time, they will never verify. But get you talking, right? Get you excited. So in this particular case, what we do is just watch for signals, and that's what we're going to do for today in the data. So for example, if I were to plot a forecast sounding here for the west side of Oklahoma City, just kind of get a look at what the atmosphere profile looks like. And we've got a temperature of 35 and a surface temperature and a dew point of 35. All right, so we're pretty saturated. And if we look above the atmosphere, above the surface, we go about about a couple hundred meters up, and then we're below freezing all the way up. So this platform does then suggest all snow. All right, so that particular forecast sounding would suggest all snow, where it says this little purple area. So it transitioned pretty quickly from rain to snow. Out here in western Oklahoma, now obviously it should be much colder, and it is. So you can't really make it on this map here, but what we're looking at is this little dashed blue line. And if the most of the profile of the forecast is left of this dashed line, then that means you're well below freezing. That dashed line is the 32 degree Fahrenheit mark all the way up into the atmosphere. So that's how we read these, and we'll show you more of these forecast soundings a little bit more on the winter side of forecast precipitation as we get into those kind of events. But anyway, that was for noontime, for example, in that day. But if you notice here in the afternoon, like here's 6 o'clock here in the metro, we're at 38 over 37. So you see we've kind of warmed up above freezing. So whether or not we still get that rain-snow mixture, we'll see. But regardless, it's been showing up here in the data for the last couple of days. So it definitely is exciting to see what could possibly come our way, right? All right, so that was it for that. I'll kind of give you the highlights here. It's 12 o'clock, so I'm going to turn you loose. But you can see temperatures over the next few days. Back up here into the upper 60s, so looking good. Overnight lows, still on the chilly side. Then the bottom drops out. So there's the 20th. So our next big front, like we mentioned, comes in. If everything were to be just as if today and didn't change in any of the data, our big front comes in during the day on the 20th, and that drops us down here below freezing for a good period of time here. So about 3 days in a row likely, and then maybe even after that, little frost left over if the winds don't return too strongly. And daytime highs, 40s are certainly plausible here for the 21st and maybe even the 22nd. as we get closer to our Thanksgiving. So a nice little cold spell in the extended outlook, and your miles will vary. If you're in Oklahoma and you live a little bit more north of Oklahoma City, because that's where this is centered at, you're obviously going to be a little bit colder. Now, if you live a little south, you're going to be a little bit warmer. This kind of gives you this general trend. You can find out your exact temperature anytime. You can use my weather app. It's called AT's Weather to Go. It's free. It's on Apple and Google Play. Just search for my name, Aaron Tuttle, or AT's Weather, and it should populate. There are some unscrupulous app people out there that use my name and platform in their app so that it tries to show up on the list to pick from. Hey man, there's sharks and cons, and people take advantage all the time. So that's what they do there. So ignore those. Just get mine, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything. So if you click on something and it's trying to charge it, it's not my app. It's not something you clicked on an ad. I don't know what you did, but get off of that, close that, start over, because you shouldn't have to pay a single dime. It's been free since I released it back in 2014. So it's 10 years running. Oh my goodness, 10 years. It's been that long. Wow. So anyway, so that's what I got here for you for our lunchtime. So again, what you guys, thank you for tuning in on Instagram today, and also on platform new for me, TikTok. I explained it kind of a little bit longer yesterday. I didn't really mess with it much because they didn't have a lot of the functionality I needed to go live, especially going horizontal, and to be able to do some of the things that I needed to do. So they fixed all that, looks like, and they don't restrict you so much on getting a live broadcast out with certain restrictions. That was good. So far so good. We'll see how it goes for them. But again, I'd like to see you guys' feedback on there. Put it in the comments section. Make sure everything looked good. Let me know if there was anything you want to change or you need to be changed on that platform. Audio, all that kind of stuff. Everything matches up. So like I said, it's a new learning experience for me, so I got to make sure that thing is rock solid, because our plan is to use that for severe weather coverage and just occasional weather updates like I do here that I have been doing on Rumble, YouTube, Twitter X, and Facebook for a long time. And so that we get everybody covered on every platform. It's like herding cats. Cats are crazy. Everybody flocks everywhere else. It's pretty funny. In the future, this is interesting too, then I'm going to let you go. Just so you know some behind-the-scenes stuff, all right? Because I always give you behind-the-scenes stuff. So if you're new to following me and you don't know where I came from, I've been in the television world business. So when I graduated college, I got into TV back in the mid-'90s. All right, so I've been doing that for a long time, and then I retired from the TV world, and then I created everything I did on social media back in 2010, and that just blew up. And then 2014, when live streaming became an option, I blew that up with Facebook, and then did YouTube, and then gradually added these other platforms with time. So I proved that as a meteorologist, you could be a content creator and basically just create your own business and do this, right? And back then, there was no money in it when I first started. It was all free. I mean, you didn't earn anything. Obviously, times have changed, and now you can earn some money on the side, whether it's good or bad. It just depends. The issue is that any content creator that comes up nowadays, it's like the old days of cable TV. At first, when it was just a box in your living room, you had 3 channels to watch. Ooh, that's a lot of pickings there. And then all of a sudden, cable hit, and you had 500 channels. Satellite hit, you got 1,000 channels. Well, guess what? On the social media landscape, you've got thousands upon thousands upon thousands of content creators, right? All vying for viewing. So obviously, it's saturated. So that's going to spread thin the revenue potential and spread thin the viewers. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the next 5 to 10 years in this whole space. At the same time, the news outlets failing big time. They've lost, in some cases, more than 50% of their revenue, of their viewership. And so there'll be a lot of consolidation, a lot of news industry closings. You don't need, 5 weather people at a TV station to tell you it's raining. So a lot of people are going to lose, there's guys going to lose their job, right? Well, some are going to try to jump into this social media landscape. We're going to see how that goes once that market is flooded with a lot more weather people. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I've been doing this, like I said, for a long time, and I'll continue to do it until I retire or something. But so far, everything's been going all right, and I keep looking for things to change. What I will tell you, just ahead of time for those still listening, I will probably at some point shift a little bit different on the subscription models. I do have that available for Facebook. I've had it for a while. A lot of you kind of use it to donate, but I may streamline some certain content that's only available through the subscription models, and we're going to see how that goes. So some of you might get upset about that, but got to pay the bills just like you do, and so like because of what I just told you before. For example, if you use like Google ads, right? Those don't pay, but a half a penny of a half a penny of a half a penny, and those keep getting watered down. So there's in other words, the revenue is not going to be there going forward in the next few years as it even was in the last few years. It's a big change. So you have to adjust as a content creator. And a lot of it's going to be more private, right? It's going to be more going private, locking content down. You got to pay to subscribe to enjoy it. So if you like that content creator, you're going to have to be in that position where, do I like them enough to, throw them a couple bucks a month? Yes or no? And that's where it's going to have to be. So I'll probably be in that because you're going to see that everywhere. That's just the way the model's going to have to go to change. Remember, the news business that everybody's been accustomed to and the weather, everything was given to you free is because it was all subsidized, meaning somebody had to pay for it, just wasn't you. But all this changed, right? So everything's going to go different. So anyway, that's a little behind the scenes. Kind of give you throw it at you if you to chew on here, just kind of know what's happening. And I'll figure out what I'm going to do here on my platform. But things will be different for 2025. So I suggest you sign up. Besides just liking, subscribing, getting notified, all that kind of stuff. But if you'd like to, go ahead and jump in on the subscription options that are there for YouTube, Facebook. I think Rumble even has something. And I know TikTok is going to have something. I think I have to do a few things before I can set that up. But make sure you take advantage of all those so you don't miss out on any content that you might find very valuable, especially like live tornado coverage, for example. So we'll see what happens down the road. But I appreciate you guys tuning in here for today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday and the rest of your week. Have a great weekend and look forward to the rain coming up Sunday night on into Monday for a nice little change. And we'll see if there's going to be snow next week. We'll talk about that as well later on. Have a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Take care.